Hi, I'm Brad.
And I'm Colby.
And we're Bradley's Jewelers.
And we are here today to talk about delicate gemstones that you can clean at home.
Yep, trying to keep them as clean as we can, even though they're delicate. So we can't put them in harsh chemicals or even alcohol to completely sterilize them. So we're gonna get it cleaned up so when you do wanna wear it or you do wanna bring in for repair, it's not such a danger for everybody.
Exactly, because right now we have to be very careful about what we do. We've all been home, quarantined, sheltering in place, and we're kind of bored, so we have
This is a good at-home project.
It's a good at-home project. You can do it with your husband,
That's right.
and it's really fun, and you can make it romantic, and do
We'll
whatever
try.
you have to do to keep yourself from going crazy. So anyway, we've got some jewelry here. We're gonna give you a list. First of all, we want to tell you that we're gonna only use liquid soap on this type of jewelry. So you can use whatever dishwashing liquid you use,
Yeah.
or hand soap. Why I like dishwashing liquid is because it is actually a grease cutter, and you would be surprised what's inside your jewelry.
And we're going to be using a really warm or hot water as much as we can.
As hot as you can take it. Put it in your little ramekin, and then drop your jewelry inside. Because if you do that and let it just soak, just like your dishes, you know how it gets the grease, it gets the grime, it starts the process rolling. So
These gloves are not going to work.
so my husband needs larger gloves. I will get him one. So you want to use gloves because you know you've been to the grocery store, you've been to the gas pump. Gosh, I hope you wear gloves nowadays, but if you don't, you've been to the gas pump. You need to put your gloves on because it's a biohazard, it really is. You don't know what's inside.
Yeah, and when you start cleaning, you start kind of unleashing the layers that are underneath it. So you got to be careful with this stuff.
So we're going to have a toothbrush, of course, but this toothbrush is not any toothbrush. This is a toothbrush that you didn't put in your mouth.
For safety.
Oh yes, always do the plug for your sink because you don't want to drop, God forbid, then you need a plumber. So this method is good on anything, including, you know, if you've got a bead, bracelet, or even pearls, which will be a different time, but you can use on these stretchy bracelets, you can use it on jade. This is jade with silk cord. So even though we don't generally recommend cleaning this because of all of the concerns out in the community today, you may want to clean a bracelet you've worn many times.
Sure. And remember, if you have anything that is strung like pearls or any bead type thing,
Right.
know that the silk cord that's in between
It needs to dry.
Needs to dry completely at least a day before you ever even try using it again.
So after you clean it with soap and water, you dry it on a paper towel and let it sit overnight. And in the meantime, this method is really good for emerald jewelry. It's really good for pearls, for lapis, for malachite, for coral, even for jasper, for jade, and for amber, and even turquoise. So this is what you want to use for these types of porous stones.
And again, put some muscle in it to get in there and all those little crevices.
Show them how you get behind it.
Yeah, right behind here, the cage and the interior of these, you really got to use the tip of that brush and get in there and do a good job. I mean, it's important.
You really do. And you can do this, 2-3 times if you need to. Don't just say, oh, I did it once. Because actually, it'll look so nice if you actually do this a couple times. It'll be really sparkly and it'll look brand new when you put it back on. And isn't that the goal, to sparkle at home?
And there's a really neat trick that we do too, is if we want to see if any gems are loose in here, you can put it up to your ear and tap it. And sometimes you can actually hear the stones rattling in there. So if you hear that, don't wear your jewelry. It needs to be checked over and tightened, but at least you know it's clean. So when you present it, it's safe.
And another thing you can do is you can take just a household
magnifier.
Yeah, and you can literally put
it out
up close because you will be able to move with, like, maybe take up your fingernail or even a little pen, and you can literally see if a stone is moving. but you can also see if a prong is broken this way. And then that way, if you do have an issue, you still want to clean it, but you want to be careful.
And you'll know, the details about your jewelry, and that's important. Listen, it's your heirlooms. You want to protect them. You want to make sure they're doing for good things. So
You really do. So thank you for watching. Hopefully this was of some help.
Yes.
And if you have any questions, feel free, give us a call. Our number will be coming up at the end of the video.
That's right.
You can email us as well. And hopefully, if you have any questions, we can answer them in the next video.
Thanks again for watching. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Bye-bye.